Alright, welcome back. We're going to be doing rounds 16 through 20. And this is where it's going to start getting interesting, because if you're doing all these in order, by the time you get to round 20, we're going to do a really, really dirty, cheap trick. But you'll have to have cleared one other round of Mass Carnival in order to have all the spells to do it. But let's go ahead and start with Sunset Boulevard. Now, these videos are going to get a little bit longer as they go on. The first one was only a couple of minutes. Now they're getting closer to 15 to 20 minutes. And that's because these fights are getting a little bit more difficult and they're becoming more like actual fights. But if I'm not mistaken... Okay. So the trick about these guys... I had to double check and make sure. The trick about these guys, they hurt. They hurt a lot. But they're really slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit them from far away and just don't let them catch up to you. You can also bait them out one at a time. So as long as you only attack with single target attacks, you should be fine. Abyssal Transfixion here is great because it adds paralysis, which can just straight stop them. We all hate when paralysis does it to us. When it does it to them, fantastic. If they're getting too close, you have more than enough time to run far away and get off that last cast you need. Alright, so Act 1 is pretty straightforward. You figure out the gimmick is they hit you really hard, but they move really slow. Act 2 is going to be a boss fight, and I believe during the boss fight, he's going to spawn the Cyclops as ads. But, I wonder if I can cheese this. You know what, let's find out. I'm going to hit him with a really strong spell here. Yep. So what I did there was Off Guard, Moon Flute, Tingle, which raises the potency of my next physical attack by 50%, Whistle, which raises the potency of my next physical attack by 80%, and Final Sting. I guess I could do a fifth finger on the sand. Final Sting is the final one. It hits them for a lot. Now that we're getting into the harder fights, you're going to see me start doing this combo a bit more often. It just straight up ends a fight. If you have all of these spells, which again, the only one you might be missing right now is Moon Flute, but you can get Moon Flute by clearing 20 rounds. You should have all of the rest of these spells just easy enough. And surprise, it kills a lot of things in one shot. So let's go ahead and move on to the Sword of Music. This one's a gimmick, and it's not a very fun one. If you watched my video for Azomagia and Siegfried, these basically teach you about the reflect mechanics. One reflects physical attacks, one reflects magic attacks. You can see on the thing right here, it'll tell you which one it is. Repelling Spray counters physical attacks. Repelling Spray counters magic attacks. If you memorize this icon, that'll be super helpful. So you'll know Sharp Angle, that's going to be counters magic. Rounded Angle counters physical. And so with that, let's go ahead and get this round started. And we'll get both these guys killed. I personally like to leave the physical guy for last, because I feel like there's just so many magic attacks that you can do to get rid of the magic one right out the gate. And there I go, casting almost every single attack that I shouldn't be against him. So that's one down. Then we move on to the second. Again, swapping over to physical attacks. Just making sure to kind of dodge whatever he does. And there you go. Act 1 is down. Alright, so now we have Act 2. It's basically just going to be a boss fight, and somewhat through the boss fight, he's going to summon the Magitech Claws from the first act. They will still have the magic and physical reflections on them, so you just need to quickly examine them, find out which is which, and make sure that you get them killed as soon as possible. That being said, I believe he has a physical resistance, so I'm not going to use the Final Sting combo on him. I don't believe it will do as much damage. So one of the other things to make note of is he will do Magitech Field. Make sure you stop him from doing that. And he will use another attack called Grand Strikes. And you also want to make sure that you stop him from doing that. So Grand Strikes, he's going to attack once, twice, and then a third time even faster. Oh, guess only twice. Why are you not dead yet? So this one can get a little busy, especially if you're focusing on trying to take care of the ads, while also dodging all the attacks and making sure that you stop the main boss from using Magitech Field. The good news is, once you're done with the ads, he never spawns them again. So this will be the end of the ads. And then I can go right back to focusing on the boss. Boss has a weakness to electricity, as do both of the others. There isn't any physical electric attacks, so you may want to get rid of the physical one first so that you can focus on hitting everyone else with something like Electrogenesis or Glower to just quickly take care of both of them. Here he goes with Magitech Field again. Make sure we cancel that. Get in some kicks. Get out of Magitech Ray. And there we go. So even again with the slightly stronger fights, there shouldn't be any problem as long as you just kind of focus on making sure the big interruptible attacks interrupt them. The ads, focus on getting them killed first. More often than not, the ads are more important than the boss. The only time where it's not is if you know you can kill the boss before the ads can do anything to you. So the next one we have is a gimmick fight. It's been a while since we had a good gimmick fight. I personally don't like this one. It's an easy fight, but it's very much a gimmick fight. It kind of takes a little bit of time, and that's why I don't like it. So you'll notice that there's all these fire sand kegs. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to bait this guy into attacking us near a fire sand keg. Because they explode. His attacks are big, they deal a lot of damage, but you can basically bait all of his attacks. And the fire sand kegs will deal damage to him. Now, it's hard to tell, like his attacks aren't telegraphed, so it could be hard to tell what he's going to do for each of his attacks. But you can kind of see, he'll draw back a hand, that's going to be a big swipe. He's got another where okay, so he's going to draw back his hand, that's another big swipe. He'll do another where he basically gets into a pose. So this is going to be, that pose is his fireball. And then his third attack that he'll do is a different pose where he kind of bends down to get ready to charge at you. So this one. The charge has some knockback. But you can see I'm basically baiting him into attacking each of these fire sand kegs. And that's basically done about half of his health. Now, this won't kill him all the way, but it will get him down a decent amount. You can use the knockback from his charge to get you out of the range of the kegs. But all the other attacks, you have to make sure that you actually get out of the way yourself. Once all of the kegs are done, he'll use Bone Shaker. And then he'll just continue attacking you. At that point, it just becomes a standard fight. I thought I was going to have him, but I got a low damage roll on that last Abyssal Transfixian, and it killed me. So again, as long as you play it safe, don't stand near him. Bait the attacks to all the fire sand kegs. You should be fine. So here he's going to charge me. Here we got the claw. Here he's going to charge. Claw again. Oh. So I'm hitting him with Abyssal Transfixian, which is inflicting paralysis, which means it can cancel him out of his 3 attacks. And then that basically just gives you chances to get free damage on him. You do have to be near him to bait some of these attacks. And you do want to make sure you're standing near the fire sand kegs. Ooh. Took a lot of damage from those 2 attacks. But I should be able to do this. As long as I don't get hit by that. Nope. So again, part of the reason I don't like this is your attacks deal so little damage to you, and the gimmick is you want him to blow up these barrels. All of his attacks are non-telegraphed, and it just kind of gets a little annoying. It's just a slow fight. You want to speed it up however you can, but there's just not really many ways to speed it up well. So here I'm going to get him to dodge at, or charge at me. And I'm going to start him going on the outside this time. So he's going to do Fireball. This time I'm going to not use Abyssal Transfixian. I actually got him with 2 cakes there. See, and the downside there is he used Fireball, but he was too far away from the fire keg that he didn't get hit by it. Now, the interesting note, if you do kill him before he runs out of fire kegs, then you will have to actually kill the fire kegs yourself, because they still count as enemies, and they do have to die before the round is technically over. So there, that killed him. And now I have to blow up these last barrels. And that ends the round. I had 2 sloppy first runs of that, but you can see if you play it safe, you play it calm, it takes a little while, but it's very easy. You can do it while spamming 1 attack. Sonic Boom is a good one because it gives you a lot of room for moving around in quick casts. Act 2, same thing, but there's 2 of them. So now you kind of got to watch what 2 of them are doing. The thing to note here is you do actually have to watch what attacks both of them are getting ready to do. And you're trying to bait both of them into attacking barrels. Alright, so that's 1 down. And only 2 barrels left. And that should do it. So again, that one's a little easier. They're a little weaker. They don't have as much health. And with 2 of them, it goes a little faster because you can bait them into attacking the barrels more often. I don't like that one. That's one of my least favorite ones. It shows up in weekly challenges so often. I really don't like it. Okay, so for this next one, we have Reflective Rebecca. She's immortal. She can only be hurt by physical attacks. Well, she has up a thing that she will cast that makes it to where she can only be hurt by physical attacks. Interesting thing to note, at the beginning of the rounds for the ones that have reflex up like that, if they don't already have it up, you can cast Off Guard and get a spell off before they have a chance to get their reflection. So big things to note here. She's going to be immortal. She's going to have bad breath. Make sure you don't stand in that cone. Awful breath is the same as bad breath, but it's going to leave like a dot on the ground that you don't want to stand in. Very weak to physical attacks. Very quick fight. So, you guys remember that combo I told you about? It's about to happen again. So we're just going to wait here a few seconds for my Off Guard to come back. Off Guard, Moon Flute. I'm not going to get Tingle up in time. Whistle. Final Sting. And just like that, the second round, she usually will spawn some ads that you have to run right up to the edge of the electric barrier and look directly in between two sets of them because they all have gaze attacks. But you could just Final Sting her and she dies. I don't know why you would do it any other way. It's pretty simple. And Miss Typhon. If any of you guys have done the Hildebrand quest, you will know that this series of fights very much reminds you of Dragon's Neck. You're going to fight Typhon, Ultros, and then Typhon and Ultros together. However, it starts with only Typhon in that last act. So we're going to go ahead and get this one started, and I'm going to show you guys an easy way to get an achievement on this round, because there is an achievement that I find really funny. So we're going to start this fight off the way you would usually start off a fight. Just dealing damage. He's going to have a lot of knockback attacks, but he's very weak to physical damage. So as long as you have some physical attacks, piece of cake, no problem. So next we're going to fight Ultros. Ultros is also a little bit of a pain. Weak to fire, but you don't need a lot of fire attacks. Let's just hit them with some hard spells. So you can actually learn blue magic spells in Masked Carnival. If you don't want to do the Hildebrand quest and you've never seen these guys fight, you could actually learn a lot of the spells from this thing. The spells that they cast specifically, like Aqua Breath there, you can learn that from this fight. So the other thing to note is he's going to try and do Imp Song. He already tried to do it once. Here he's trying to do it again. Do not let him cast that. You will sorely regret it. Outside of that, this is a pretty straightforward fight. Dodge his attacks. Hit him with whatever you got. His attacks are pretty easily telegraphed. He'll do Imp Song every now and then. Just make sure you keep hitting him. Alright, one more should do this. Okay, and so now we move on to the combo fight. Now, in the combo fight, he will actually... Ultros will join in, and then he'll spawn giant tentacles on the outside of the arena that will basically slam down and can hurt you for a lot of damage. You can get an achievement if you finish this round without killing any of the tentacles. Fun fact, you don't have to kill any of the tentacles if they never spawn. Moon Flute, Off Guard, Tingle, Whistle, Final Sting. And he's dead. And just like that, this bonus right here, Trouble with Tentacles, is what you need to end up getting to unlock the achievement. The achievement is called Octopath Traveler. It's an okay game. I have feelings about it, but I know people like it. That said, you're starting to see that when you have a lot of spells, these fights can kind of become jokes. Alright, and so that is up through round 20. We're getting into the final stretch here. The next one's going to be a short one. We're only going to do 21 through 24 since I already did a video for 25. And then we will continue on.